Good morning. This is February 22nd, 2016. This is Rosemarie Swanson here. I am an Akashic Record certified consultant and teacher.
And this is Wendy Sue Wall, and I'm also an Akashic Record certified consultant and teacher. And we're glad that you're here with us today with Akashic Presence and our presentation on divine timing as it's brought through the Akashic Records. Rosemarie, would you please call in the light?
Yes. Wendy Sue and I have already opened the Akashic Records, and we would like to take a moment to call in the light in order to gather everyone that watches this video into the light of the Akashic Records with us. So if you would just close your eyes and just take a moment and go within. Feel the life force of your heart beating inside of you. Giving yourself permission to be in this moment. And then allow yourself to go even deeper. Letting go of everything other than moving deep within. Allowing God's light, love, and grace to surround you, embrace you, fill you, and fulfill you as we go on this journey, allowing you to be open to a higher level of understanding of all that you will hear. Thank you. So we want to talk here today about divine timing. The records have asked us to discuss this. So Wendy Sue, would you like to give us your definition of divine timing?
Well, in being present with the record keepers over the last couple of weeks, as this subject has been coming up personally, what I've noticed is I'm not always adept at following divine timing. I have a tendency to be given a mission and then want to drive it. And I work with the records daily. And yet there's a place where I have found that I'm not always in a receiving mode to see what the next step is, or to actually take a pause and a breath to allow the outside influences to come into alignment. And so what I'm hearing from the records is, what do you do when you meet resistance with yourself regarding divine timing and the patience to allow?
Perfect question. So through my years of experience with the records, this is what they've guided me to do. And if you'd like to, close your eyes and I'll talk you through it, and then you'll be able to do it on your own since you'll have it. So just take a couple of, I always just go within, take a couple of deep breaths, and go within my heart. And then I ask to go even deeper into my sacred heart. And the sacred heart is where your threefold flame, which is the essence of you, it's who you really are, resides. And it's through your intention that you will be guided there. And when you feel like you're there, ask to go even deeper. And from this place, you go into a level of unconditional love that we don't often bring forward with us as we live our day-to-day lives. From this place, you can make all sorts of different connections. I always begin with first imagining a line of energy going down into Mother Earth and asking that energy to connect with the heart, the divine heart of Mother Earth.
Hmm.
And when I do that, it always feels like I'm being enveloped and enfolded in this magnificent feeling of loving. Well, she truly recognizes you and honors connection with you. And then I send a line of energy from my heart upward, setting my intention that it go as high as possible and connect to the creator of all that there is. And just allow yourself just to sit and marinate in that energy, feel it and experience it. And from that place, ask to be shown how to move into that universal flow, that divine timing. Ask for whatever assistance you need to keep you in this space and flow it outward consciously into your day-to-day life. I know it sounds like a lot, but once you've done this several times, you'll be able to do it within a minute. And then you move outward and you begin to experience what the records told me when I was walking this morning, is to share with you that from this space, then you learn to experience life through the heart, through the heart's eyes, through the heart's ears, and move forward in your life through that place of loving. When you're in that place of loving, then it's easier to stay in the flow of divine timing all the time. It just takes creating a habit. It takes commitment, willingness to do it, and continually bringing yourself back. Even if you have to tell the person you're talking to, wait a minute, I just need to do something real quick. And find a quiet moment, move back in your heart, and then re-engage. It really works.
So what I was shown during that beautiful meditation, or what my felt sense was that my stomach relaxed, that I felt my root chakra, which is at the base of my spine, move into the earth and an energy flow back up through my body and out my crown. And then I was shown the picture of the Lemniscate, which is the figure 8. And what I was shown by the record keepers is that if any point in time in that giving and that receiving process of divine timing, I feel stopped or I feel a yield sign, then it's good for me to take a breath and pause, allow that energy to keep flowing up and down, but know that there may be something in my outward movement that needs to be taken a look at. What are my propensities? Do I need to do something different than I've done in the past? Am I holding a clear vision of my goal and allowing the divine timing to come in to support me easily and gracefully?
Yes, I agree. What I find is when I meet that resistance and I go within this quiet place within me and go into the being very balanced and still, I can ask, what is the wisdom I'm supposed to be receiving here from this situation? When I find I ask, what is the wisdom? Because if you're meeting resistance, there's something there that needs to be looked at. So I ask, what is my wisdom? In whole space and wait for the response. And it does come. I mean, I had that happen last year where I had a huge situation come up and it just began to snowball and just be crazy, chaotic. And it wasn't until I went back, took the time to go back into that place, get into my quiet space, get connected, and say, what is the wisdom? It's not about learning. It's not about I've done something wrong or they're doing something wrong. What is the message here? What is the wisdom I'm to gain from this situation? And when I gained it, when I was given that answer and processed through it, the very next morning, everything was resolved. And the only doing this was for me to ask for that help, receive it, process through it, and everything shifted. I mean, it was almost as if it felt like magic took place. It was that beautiful. So that's how you move through that resistance and move into the absolute divine timing.
Okay, I heard you say that there's holding space, and then you said, and then you wait. There felt like a different energy between holding space and waiting. Can you explain that through the records?
Yes, the waiting is like standing in line and tapping your feet. You're in a hurry because you want to do the next thing. But holding space is when you move into receiving and you just allow whatever happens. It's a more relaxed, your open shoulders, your heart's open, and it's a much more relaxed space of openness and allowing this instead of being all scrunched up and tight and why is this going on and what's happening. You move into that open space of allowing and receiving. We use the word wait because that's what we know in our language, but in truth, it's holding space.
So, and in the word space, there is space. So there's a breath, right, that comes in and out, and there's room to move and room for possibility, room for our needs to be met, and not always by us. So there's support that we allow in divine timing as well.
Yes, oh, absolutely. And that's one of the things we oftentimes forget, and that is to ask for help. They are there. There's a divine law, a universal law, that request that we ask for the assistance and ask for help. And when we do, it's given. It may not be in the way we perceive in that divine timing, it's always given. So we have to learn to let those old perceptions go and move into the trusting and allowing and the holding of it to take place. I mean, there's an old saying, you want to make God laugh, tell him you have a plan. Because it's really about aligning our will with the Creator's will and then allowing that guidance to take us to fulfill our purposes, whatever that might be. And it's different for everyone.
So what I was hearing as you were speaking is that the support is not just from source or spirit, that the support is also to look around and see who in the physical or what in the physical, like my dog often helps support my divine timing by getting me out of something and going for a walk where that inspiration can come through. So when we focus completely on one thing, that is a type of driving.
Yes.
And while we may need to have a deadline or may need to meet that deadline, we also need to get up and walk away and allow for possibility and allow for support and allow for that which we know is going to happen anyways, not to be driven.
Yes.
Because what I'm hearing from the records is I often have an idea of what would be the best, and rarely has my idea been what actually happened.
Yes. I actually find that on the days that I take the time to walk my dog and enjoy the outside, whether it's overcast or sunny, it doesn't matter. But just to be in that state of appreciation of the trees and flowers and the air around me and the freedom to walk my dog. And then I come back in and I do a meditation and I get centered. And when I take that time to set that tone and that alignment within me so the divine timing can come through, then I can get what before seemed to be an impossible deadline. I can get it done without even thinking about it. It just happens. It's easy. It takes place with no struggle. and quickly. So the deadline's met, even though I took the extra time, which in the third dimensional polarity world would say you really shouldn't do. But when I take that extra time to move myself into alignment with divine timing and the flow of the universe, it all just happens.
Beautiful. And if it doesn't happen, what does divine timing say about that?
The Akashic records say that if it doesn't happen in that set go line, then it wasn't meant to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's something else for you to look at that is a block which is there that you haven't even perceived. So that's one of the things that I love about the Akashic records, and that we have each other and other consultants and teachers as well, that we can go in and say, this is going on, what can I do about it? Which is why the records are so fun. For someone who doesn't have access to the records, go in your body and feel in your body. And what feels bad? What feels not quite right for you? And look at that and talk to it. Ask it, what do you want? What do you want? What can I do to make you feel better? How can I change this so that you will move into alignment with me? So you begin to dialogue with what's going on in a very conscious way and receive the answer and move into resolution. And then the freedom will be there. This is about moving into freedom to create, freedom to be in that gentle, loving flow that will get you where you need to go without strife and struggle. That's what divine timing is all about.
And then I heard Gratitude, that song that says, thank God for unanswered prayers.
Yes.
Or the best laid plans of mice and men.
Yes.
So as we close our session today on divine timing, what I'm hearing is to be mindful that we can have a goal, that we can understand that we have other people that are putting fires on us, and that becomes our emergency. And to ask ourselves through that felt sense, what is my truth and what is my priority here? And what am I doing for others that I may not be doing for myself? Or how am I putting others in front of me so that I can really develop that felt sense of what is true for me so that I can follow the flow of divine timing?
Yes, absolutely, Wendy Sue. It's not, well, let's put it this way. The records are saying we tend to move into this old pattern of belief that selfishness is bad. And the truth of the matter is, selfishness is only bad when it hurts someone, whether it be yourself or someone else. Because sometimes we can hurt ourselves through our selfishness. But there's a difference between that and self-care. And self-care is absolutely a must. Because when you take care of yourself, then you have more to flow outward to care for others. You have the depth and breadth and the energy then to flow outward into life and fulfill the purpose that you've been sent here to do.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that the purpose is in the micro and the macro, which is like our purpose of this time together was about divine timing, and it included that self-care piece, which helps you be in the flow more.
Yes.
And I'm so incredibly grateful for the way that we are in this flow and that we have the opportunity to present to our listeners and to be together and to share not just with the Akashic Records, but with each other and with our audience. And so I would like to close the records. Is there anything else that they would like you to say before we do that?
No, it feels like they're done. Yeah, they feel like it feels like they've said what they wanted us to say to the audience
And what they are telling me is look for more, because we'll be back, and they really are so, the record keepers and myself are so very, very grateful to share with you. So we're asking for the divine presence to surround you with Akashic presence. And we're asking for your authenticity to move forward into your knowing as you follow divine timing in the daily to-dos and to-bes in your life. And if you would like to have a subject matter that you would like Rosemary and I to discuss with the Akashic Record Keepers on Akashic Presence, you can reach us at akashicpresence@gmail.com. And you can reach myself at withinview@gmail.com. And with that being said, I now close the records. Amen, amen, and amen, with extreme gratitude. And Rosemary?
You can get in touch with me at rosemary@rosemarieswanson.com. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as we have, and I hope it has assisted you in some way. And we look forward to working in the records and discussing whatever topics that you may feel that you would like to hear from the records. So until then, goodbye. Love you.
Rosemary, I'm being led to say one other thing.
Okay.
That the space that we're holding for the Akashic Records during that talk that's coming directly through is also, as we try to trickle down into the 3D, is part of what creates that giddy up, or that hitch in our giddy up. So thank you, listeners, for allowing us to be so expansive for you and then come back into this 3D world. And we're wishing the same for you, expansion, and then moving easily and gracefully into your daily life.
Beautiful. Because that is what it's about.
Yes.
Be in such a high connection, but anchor it down into this three-dimensional reality and live your life through that divinity.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Blessings, everyone. Bye-bye till next time.